And at some point, 15 years ago, I started to write books about the history of the Second World War and the Third Reich, and in particular. And throughout these 15 years, I tried to gather on my own various materials, documents. It describes various secret projects of the Third Reich, but the most important part of it is the one that deals with anti-gravity, which is something that wasn't known before, and I think that most of the information presented here is new, almost everything.
Secret operations by leading scientists in Nazi Germany led to the discovery of one of the most biggest and mysterious wonder weapons, die Glocke, or in English, the bell. But what made the bell so wondrous? Well, the brightest scientific minds were working on anti-gravity theories, which were very popular during World War II. They were the same minds that built the V1 and V2 rockets. V2 is the first rocket that can leave Earth's atmosphere and enter into the depths of deep space. They also are the same minds that took part in the creation of the first atomic bomb. Hitler alone believed that with the creation of this enormous bell, that World War II would be won. Leaked information and declassified documents have given us the direction in understanding of what this bell was all about. It was when Igor Witkowski's book called The Truth About the Wonder Weapon, this first weapon was introduced to us. He claims that he has been shown classified Polish government documents by an anonymous Polish intelligence official. In these documents were the most important Nazi research projects, and among them was the Die Glocke. Mainstream belief tends to oppose the existence of such a weapon and classify it as an urban legend. To the contrary of mainstream belief, many people believe in such a weapon. And not just that, they also believe that it had sinister intentions. There are many documents on the internet and on TV that state the Third Reich was doing hardcore research before the end of the war in 1945. And aside from the chemical weapons and tough machinery, it was believed that the Third Reich scientists were working on a supposed time machine. Close to the Czech border in the near distance to the Winterthur mine, in a German research facility for classified governmental research that allegedly the Glocke experiment was taking place. The description of a device was pretty precise, and picturing the image in your mind can only leave you even more curious and even afraid. This machine was believed to have great power. Descriptions state that the device was made of heavy metal around 9 feet wide and up to 15 feet high and had a bell-like shape. The information states that the device had 2 counter-rotating cylinders filled with mercury-like liquid and had a bluish color. The mercury-like liquid was referred to as serum 25 and was stored in special flasks. Other liquids were added, such as light metal with thorium and beryllium peroxides. This device emitted strong and dangerous radiation, which often caused the scientists health problems. Scientists suffered from sleep deprivation, dizziness, and some even died due to radiation poisoning. Witkowski speculates that the area around the Winterthur mine was used for testing die Glocke and its anti-gravity powers. Many different proposals were made about the machine's ultimate goal, all connecting with generating phenomena. It was said that it could even generate wormholes. Was the Nazi bell used to travel back in time? Did Hitler want to change history? Physics has shown us that traveling into the past is very difficult, and there is a paradox known for that specific type of time travel called the grandfather paradox. What this paradox means is that if we traveled back in time and killed our grandfather, our father would never have been born, and neither would we. There is also a quantum physics theory that is called many worlds, and it states that every conceivable timeline exists in separate parallel worlds, and is equal as to the world we inhabit. On the other hand, wormholes and tunnels made out of space-time fabrics that connect very far distances in space in a much shorter distance. Space-time fabric was proposed by Einstein back in the early 20th century, so the Nazis had a pretty good view on space. Wormholes exist naturally, and theoretical physicist John Wheeler said it is possible for wormholes to appear spontaneously anywhere and to suddenly disappear, as he had a hypothesis called quantum foam hypothesis, backing it up. Did the Nazis create a wormhole with the super powerful Nazi bell and plummet somewhere in time? Where is this device now? So many questions rise from such an intriguing experiment, making it the most mysterious object known to man. And if it does still exist, in whose hands is it?
It was something that looked just like from another world. It was so shocking and presented such a new picture of the German research in the Second World War. Something that was breaking all the known rules as far as the research is concerned. Such a shield, such a cylinder, which was covering certain rotating cylinders inside. It was very, at first glance, it was simple, but the effects of this of its operation were very complex and impossible to explain by entire team of specialists who was dedicated to the explanation of this device in the 1960s, for example. It appeared that the main aim of this device was to accelerate heavy ions, namely of mercury, and spin them at very high angular speeds, in order to observe or to create some strange effects, some strange energies produced by this device. Professor Walter Gerlach, before the war, was trying to create some fields according to his letters to another scientist, to Arnold Sommerfeld, for example, to the Soviet scientist Piotr Kapica. According to this, it was something that was basing on the nature of the ball lightning, Kugelblitz. And he was trying to accelerate the ions of mercury and observe the effects. It is something that is completely missing from the common or the canon of this scientific publications about the Second World War. It's something that is missing. I have gotten to descriptions of modern scientific experiments. It's a scientific paper which describes something that resembles replication of these German experiments, in which the scientists, it was in 1989 as far as I remember in the UK, in which the scientists had managed to obtain 50% reduction of the gravity. Nevertheless, it confirmed that such an explanation, that such effects could indeed take place, and it could be an anti-gravity device. there are reports of the witnesses, I mean these prisoners of war, SS officers, and one of them described this that this device, the Glocke, the bell, was surrounded by a circle of cables, which were dozens of them. Each one of them was thick as a human arm. These witnesses saw this bell indeed as it worked, and it was such a high energy that the electromagnetic effects produced by the device, it produced very strong magnetic fields, so strong that it caused surges in the electrical installations, and the light bulbs were blowing at a distance of, as it was described, of around 150 meters. So it would have to be indeed very strong electromagnetic fields and very strong energy. In fact, there was a special power plant nearby, and the very thick cables were connecting this place with the power plant. There are certain theories, scientific theories, and they basically existed already then, which makes such a connections possible, which is the Jordan theory, and which makes a connection between isolation of electromagnetic fields and gravity, and several others, such as Einstein-Cartan theory, which makes connection with the spinning of the mass of the field. But that's one explanation, which is quite likely, and as I mentioned, the modern, recent scientific experiments have confirmed that in this case, in such a device, the relativistic of gravitational effects would be significant. Certainly, I'm sure of that, because it has been confirmed. The other explanation is that it could have played some role in the nuclear program. It could have something to do with nuclear weapons, but with weapons of a completely different kind that we know now presently. The Germans during the Second World War tried to explore two other ways to nuclear weapons. One of them was the thorium, making a bomb on the base of thorium, which is something that the American ALSOS mission, special mission, intelligence mission, was never able to explain why the Germans worked on thorium. They were never able to comprehend. As you can see, by this way of trying to explain the nature of the bell, I managed to find, to unravel many other mysteries which I never suspected that such mysteries could have existed even before I started writing this book. So it's something that is a key to the history of the Second World War, I believe.
Please subscribe to the Kepler Telescope channel for regular videos on world mysteries, the truth, and the unknown. Thank you for watching. Please leave your comments below.